Well, thank you guys so much. I'm with Megan Schipper, and Jude is with us this afternoon. Megan, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
We've been having a conversation here,
Yep.
and we've been talking about Jude. And Jude is like the cutest little guy with his curly hair and his perfect shoes that go so well with his outfit today. You took some time, didn't you, to select his outfit? I think you did.
Possibly.
Yeah. See, we know. Well, he looks great. Thanks for coming in today. So, take us back. Jude's almost 2. He'll be 2 in December.
Yep.
And at 21 weeks of pregnancy, you found out some news.
Yep. So we found out on my ultrasound that he was going to have spina bifida, and also that he was missing his left leg. And so
How did you take that news?
it was shocking.
Yeah.
You know, I had had really the perfect pregnancy up until that point, and so we had no expectation that anything was going to be wrong.
Was your husband Luke with you when you found out the news?
He was,
How
yeah.
did Luke do?
Yeah, we were both shocked.
Yeah.
You know, but fortunately, our doctor was, reassuring, and he set us up right away with specialists that could hopefully give us more information. And from there, it kind of launched, us developing a plan for his birth, and he was going to require surgery to close his spine shortly after birth. And so really plans centered around being at a facility that had a pediatric neurosurgeon to close his spine.
And where did that take place? Where did the surgery?
Up in Rochester.
Okay.
And so we planned for him to be born up there. However, he had his own plans, just like he does now. And he came 1 month exactly early to the day before we had planned to deliver him. So he was born down in Iowa where we were living at the time, and flown to Rochester. And then I was able to join him later that evening. So we stayed up in Rochester for a whole month in the NICU. He had his first 2 surgeries while we were up there.
You were in the hospital a whole month?
Yeah, in the NICU. So that was 2 hours away from where we were living at the time.
I see a great big smile smiling back at us right now.
He's still smiling. He's had 12 surgeries to date. Most of those were in the first summer of his life. We had a period of about 2 months when he was 6 and 7 months old that he had 5 or 6 shunt revisions, and so those were emergent, and that meant we had to get in the car and go.
What does that mean? What was happening?
So he has hydrocephalus, which is extra fluid on the brain, essentially. Cerebral spinal fluid can build up in their brain. And what happens is his ventricles weren't communicating with each other. And so he would get pockets of fluid that they have to insert. It's essentially a drain to drain them. And so he has 2 of those, and they fail. And they failed frequently our first summer. And so that was the 5 or 6 surgeries. And if you don't treat it right away, they can have neurological deficits, and they can decline.
It's amazing that a little guy, not even 2 years old yet, has had double-digit surgeries. Mm-hmm. That's just mind-boggling. Mm-hmm. You said you've had a tough summer. What happened?
His first summer, so 2015 was our tough summer, and we were in and out of the hospital like every 2 days for a shunt revision for about 2 months. And like I said, that meant we had to get in the car and go, and we couldn't worry about what our finances looked like at that time. And that's when we were blessed to have Children's Miracle Network help provide us with some gasoline money to get us there.
Did they contact you? How did you find them?
Back. Well, I work very closely with the staff of Children's Miracle Network ladies, and so they were always asking me what I needed. And
it's amazing how that happens, isn't it? It's amazing how they can look out for people.
And they probably told me about 5 times to fill out the application before I actually did it.
That's a common thread that we've heard all day today, mm-hmm. that parents don't think that their need is
Right.
greater than others, so they don't ask for the help.
Right.
But that's really not what should happen, is it?
No.
The help is there. You need to take it.
Yep.
You knew. And so what they helped you with gas cards?
Yep. So, yeah, we didn't feel like we needed it because my husband and I both work.
Right.
And we have insurance, and, I would say our insurance is decent. And so we, but when we've had as many trips as we did, then we, decided to accept the help.
Could you tell me about Jude's wheelchair?
Yes. So the other thing that Children's Miracle Network has helped us fund is a bumbo wheelchair. And so what that is a bumbo seat that most infant kids use when they're little. And it's mounted on, it's actually a kitchen cutting board, a large one. And then with some wheels on the side. And it's a mini wheelchair for him. And that was really his first mobility device to be able to get around at daycare and be on the same level as his peers and just continue to develop.
A lot of us know what the bumbo chair is, because we've used them. It's a soft, squishy chair. But for someone to come and develop a plan to be able to give mobility, that is just amazing. So your husband got the plans and put the chair together?
Yep, correct. Another family of a child with spina bifida had put the plans online with most of the materials listed right there for him. And so we purchased the materials, and my husband put it together. And then Children's Miracle Network reimbursed us for the cost of the materials.
So I think what we'll do is we'll ask for 5 calls. Should we do that?
Absolutely.
Let's ask for 5 calls at 781-1477 or 1-800-853-6889. And the Gunderson Life Specialists are here ready to answer the phone. Let's hear a little noise. You have some of those bells over there? Let's get a little noise going. Okay, so we have the enthusiastic crew here ready to take your phone calls, and they are. You should see the smiles I'm looking at. They're about as big as Jude's. Not quite, but almost. Look at that face. So how are things? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has fortunately only had 2 surgeries this year. One of those.
Only 2 surgeries.
I know. But compared to the first year of 10, it's a lot better, a lot more manageable. So I think we've moved from, our first year of his life was really kind of survival mode. And now we've kind of moved to thriving, helping him to thrive. And
From survival to thriving.
yep.
That's a good transition, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, we're still super busy. He has 4+ hours of therapy every week. And
Does therapy hurt?
No, he does really well. And his therapists are really good about pushing him, yet not pushing him over his, and he's super tolerant, more than I could have ever gone through.
This is a tough question, and none of us really know the answer to it. But if you had a crystal ball, what's happening in the future?
Well, this summer we heard the words from one of his doctors that they do think he will walk, and Luke and I.
Can we get a ringing of the bells for that? Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I thought that needed something.
Absolutely.
How did you feel when you got that news?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Luke and I have always held out hope that he will walk, but it was the first time that we heard a medical professional say it.
It was probably the sweetest words. Did you have any idea that was possible?
Someday.
In your heart? You knew?
Someday we knew it would come.
Okay.
Yeah. But now he has a gait trainer, and he,
What is that?
It's like a walker device, and so we strap him into it standing, and then he is able to take some steps with his leg, and then they're teaching him how to make his prosthetic move with his hip and stuff like that. So
Now, how does Jude do with his prosthetic? How does he do with that? Do you take it off at night when he goes to bed? What happens with that?
he wears it a majority of the day except when he's sleeping.
Okay.
So during nap and at night. But otherwise, he pretty much wears it.
And he's used to it, and he accepts it when you put it on. And it's
Yep.
not-
Yep. Yep.
I
we
mean, that in
started-
itself is amazing, isn't it, for a 2-year-old? I mean, it just for anybody, but especially for a little guy who really,
Yep. Yep. We
really-
started, he got his first prosthetic when he was 13 months old. And so he's really, the younger they start, the more.
Now, how do those appointments go?
always
That's
been-
got to be a long appointment, doesn't it? Don't they have to be fitted? And what happens there?
So we are seen every 6 months by the doctor that manages that. And then he has a prosthetist. I'm probably not
Wow.
going to say that right. But he has a prosthetist that they essentially mold him with plaster. While we're holding him, they mold around his hip with plaster. And then we return in about a month to pick it up. And then we spend more time in the office for them to adjust it and make sure it's fitting right. And
That sounds like a long day to me.
it is.
How does Jude do?
Yep. He does very well for the most part. He's used to long clinic days with spina bifida clinic. And then, he's used to driving in the car now. So the trip there and back gets a little long. He's seen in Minneapolis for his prosthetic. So he gets
Some
a
of
little.
these Children's Miracle Network girls back here are actually entertaining Jude over here and doing a great job at it. I heard some funny noises coming out of my ear, and I was afraid to turn around to look to see what was really going on. 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889 is our phone number. Now, what we're going to do is just leave these phone lines open, okay?
Yep.
And you know what's probably happening? If you look at the clock this time of day, people probably got off work a little early, and you're not supposed to be calling while you're driving. So they're going to wait till they get home and then pick up the phone and then give us a call is what they're going to do. Thank you for sharing. It's a pleasure. I know we've talked 2 or 3 times, and every time we talk, it's so good to get an update because we care. We care, and we want to know how Jude's doing. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We're just grateful for all the support from everybody in the community and from, Children's Miracle Network hospitals and everything that they're doing for us.
And we're grateful that you came in, both of you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Radio Group.